The true potential of the NYSC has not yet been fully realized.
More than 5 decades have passed since the establishment of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC). Today, one important question continues to arise, which is the NYSC still relevant to Nigeria's future? Many Nigerians may answer no. They point to unemployment, insecurity, and the challenges facing graduates after completing their service year. These concerns are actually understandable. Yeah. However, I believe there's another way of looking at the institution. If we take a second look at the NYC, not merely as a compulsory 1 year program, but as a national institution with enormous untapped potential, we may discover that it can become one of the greatest youth development schemes in Nigeria's history. Mind you, the true potential of the NYC has not yet been fully realized. For many graduates, the service year ends with the passing out parade. Yet, what if the NYC became a lifelong platform that prepares graduates for employment, entrepreneurship, leadership, innovation, and continuous service to humanity? What if? You know, that possibility is what this documentary seeks to explore.
The strength of every great nation rests on the shoulders of its youth. That is why the National Youth Service Corps should be more than just a program. It should be a sacred investment in the future of the nation. People build countries, and the kind of country people build depends on the mindset they carry.
One of the greatest challenges facing Nigeria today is graduate unemployment. Although the NYC has contributed significantly to national unity and community development over the years, this has actually happened.
One, then the world now is digital, so I believe maybe they should maybe inculcate all these digital ICT programs. That because that's where the world is trending into now. So instead of wasting time for 6 months and even the side program that they do, like they should just try and maybe reprogram it and maybe change the scheme now into something that's more digital that would benefit a core member even after service.
Many graduates still struggle to find meaningful career opportunities after completing the program. This raises an important question, which is, can the NYC become a stronger institution that not only promotes national unity, but also prepares graduates for long-term productivity and national development? Can NYC become that? I believe the answer is yes. For me, it's yes. The future of the NYC depends not only on government policies, but also on the collective commitment of Nigerians. When government, private organizations, um, development partners, educational institutions, communities, and former corps members work together, the NYC can become a powerful engine for youth development and national progress. If all these people I mentioned can work together, believe me, the NYC can become a powerful engine for youth development and national progress. Nation building has never been the responsibility of government alone. Oh, yes, throughout history, the youth have remained the driving force behind the development of a nation. No country can achieve sustainable growth while neglecting its young people. Never. A nation that falls to, or a nation that fails to invest in its youth weakens its own future. However, investing in young people goes beyond providing opportunities. It also requires, cultivating the right mindset. The right mindset is really important. Now, listen further. Mindset determine direction. They can either drive a nation forward or hold it back. Oh, yes. This is why we must ask ourselves an honest question, which is, do we see the NYSC as merely a 1 year national assignment, or do we see it as the beginning of a lifetime of service to humanity? That is the question. Plug this question into your head. That question lies at the heart of this documentary. The ideal or the ideals upon which the NYSC was founded should not expire after 12 months of service. Patriotism, leadership, volunteerism, and service to humanity are values that should continue throughout life. Whether we like it or not, the responsibility for unlocking the potential of the NYSC belongs to every Nigerian. Every Nigerian. Government has a role. The private sector has a role. The civil society also has a role. Former corps members have a role. Communities have a role. Every citizen has a role. The future of the NYSC will be determined not only by reforms, but also by the mindset of Nigerians. For that reason, before discussing where the institution should go, it is important for all of us to understand where it came from. Yes, so that we can appreciate the future of the NYSC. We must first understand its history. We must first understand the circumstances that gave birth to it. In October 1972, the federal military government under General Yakubu Gowon announced plans to establish a national youth service program. The vision was to mobilize young Nigerian graduates to contribute to national development, particularly in communities where skilled manpower was limited. The proposal also aimed to strengthen national unity by encouraging graduates to live and serve in parts of the country outside their states of origin. Not everyone welcomed the idea. On 27 March 1973, students of the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, protested against the proposed National Youth Service Corps. Similar demonstrations were also reported at the University of Lagos during a broader period of student unrest. Some students questioned why the program should apply only to graduates, while others expressed concern about compulsory national service and the expectation placed upon young people. Despite these protests, the federal government remained committed to its vision. The authorities believed that national service will play an important role in promoting unity, developing skilled manpower, and supporting national reconstruction after years of political instability and civil conflict. On 22 May 1973, the National Youth Service Corps was officially established by Decree Number 24 of 1973 during the military administration of General Yakubu Gowon. The establishment of the NYSC marked more than the creation of another government institution. It represented a national commitment to healing a divided country and building a stronger future. Only a few years earlier, Nigeria had experienced one of the most painful periods in its history, the Nigerian Civil War, which ended in January 1970. The conflict left deep wounds, destroyed lives and communities, and created divisions that threatened the country's unity. In the years that followed, the federal government pursued policies aimed at reconstruction, reconciliation, and national reintegration. The NYSC became one of the most significant institutions created to advance those goals. The enabling decree stated that the scheme was established with a view to the proper encouragement and development of common ties among the youth of Nigeria and the promotion of national unity. Those words continue to define the original vision of the NYSC. The founders recognized that sustainable peace would not be achieved by infrastructure alone. It would also require young Nigeria from different ethnic, cultural, and religious backgrounds to meet one another, work together, understand one another, and develop a shared sense of national unity. The vision remains one of the greatest strengths of the NYSC. More than 50 years later, the challenges facing Nigeria may have changed, but the need for national unity, mutual understanding, and active citizenship remains as important as ever. Having understood the historical background of the NYSC, the next question becomes equally important, which is, why was the scheme established and what problem was it intended to solve? The answer to this question reveals why the NYSC continues to matter in Nigeria's journey towards national development.
It has been generally accepted that if Nigeria is to make rapid progress on all fronts internally, and if she is to make her mark on the continent of Africa, and indeed in the Committee of Nations, then her youth must be fully mobilized and be prepared to offer willingly and without asking for rewards in return, their best in the service of their nation at all times. The establishment of the National Youth Service Corps is the first step towards the realization of this lofty goal. In conclusion, I wish to assure you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the Directorate of the National Youth Service Corps, of the full support and cooperation of all the governments in the Federation in your undertakings. Yours is not an easy assignment, and the whole world will watch to see what you make of this bold and challenging venture. God willing, you will not fail. I wish you the very best of luck, success, and God's blessings. Thank you very much.
The establishment of the National Youth Service Corps in 1973 was not an accident of history. It was a deliberate national response to the realities facing Nigeria after the Civil War. Barely 13 years after gaining independence in 1960, Nigeria had experienced political instability. ethnic tension, military coup, and a devastating civil war. These events exposed the fragile nature of national unity and highlighted the urgent need to build trust among Nigerians. The federal government recognized that lasting peace could not be achieved through political decisions alone. A stronger nation would require a new generation of citizens who understood one another beyond ethnic, religious, and regional differences. The youth became the focus of that vision. Young graduates were seen as ambassadors of national unity who could help bridge divisions by living, working, and serving in states other than their own. Through this experience, they they would learn about different cultures, build friendship across ethnic lines, and develop a deeper appreciation of Nigeria's diversity. The NYC was therefore established to pursue several important objectives. The first was to promote national unity by encouraging interaction among Nigerians from different backgrounds. The second was to foster mutual understanding, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence among the country's diverse ethnic and religious community. The third was to contribute to national development by deploying educated young graduates to sectors where their knowledge and skills could make meaningful contribution, particularly in education, in healthcare, agriculture, engineering, and rural development. The fourth was to cultivate discipline, patriotism, leadership, and a spirit of selfless service among Nigerian graduates. Finally, the scheme sought to inspire young people to see themselves not only as members of their ethnic groups or states, but also as a citizens with a shared responsibility of Nigeria's future. Over the years, these objectives have remained at the heart of the NYC. Although the nation has changed significantly since 1973, the need for unity, responsible citizenship, and youth participation in national development remains an important thing to do today, as it was as the scheme's inception. Perhaps the greatest lesson behind the establishment of the NYC is this: a nation cannot achieve lasting development if its young people are disconnected from one another or excluded from the task of building the future. Youth are not merely beneficiary of national development, they are its driving force. This is why the National Youth Service Corps remains more than a compulsory national service program. At its best, it is a platform for shaping responsible citizens, developing future leaders, and strengthening the bonds that hold Nigeria together. However, no institution should be judged by its vision. Yeah. However, no institution should be judged only by its vision. Since its establishment on 22nd May 1973, the National Youth Service Corps has made significant contribution to Nigeria's development, no doubt about that, especially in the area of national unity. For more than 5 decades, millions of graduates have served in different parts of the country, leaving lasting impact on communities and strengthening the bonds of national unity. During its first decade, from 1973 to 1983, the scheme gained widespread acceptance. Core members were deployed across the country to serve in schools, hospitals, government institutions, farms, engineering projects, and rural communities where skilled manpower was needed. Many communities looked forward to receiving core members, because of the knowledge, energy, and fresh ideas they brought. One of the greatest achievements of the NYSC has been its role promoting national integration by living and working outside their states of origin. Many young Nigerians have developed friendship that cut across ethnic, religious, and cultural boundaries. This experience have helped many participants appreciate Nigeria's diversity and see fellow citizens beyond tribal or regional identities. The scheme has also encouraged communities so well to develop across the country. Core members have initiated projects such as classroom renovations, health awareness campaign, environmental sanitation exercise, literacy programs, water projects, and other interventions designed to improve the lives of local communities. Although many of these projects were modest in scale, they reflected the spirit of volunteerism and service that the NYC seek to promote. Over the years, core members have also supported national assignments. They have, contributed to elections as ad hoc officials, participated in public health campaigns, assisted educational institutions, and provide services in both urban and rural communities. This achievement demonstrates that the NYIC has made meaningful contribution toward its founding objective. However, acknowledging this success does not mean ignoring the challenges that have emerged over time. In recent years, graduate unemployment has become one of the most pressing concerns concerns facing Nigeria. Every year, thousands of graduates complete their national service only to face an uncertain future with limited employment opportunities and increasing economic hardship. The reality has caused many young Nigerians to question whether the NYC is adequately preparing graduates for life after service. Some view the program as an important national experience, while others believe it has not done enough to improve their long term career prospects. In response to this concern, the federal government introduced the Skill Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Development (SAID) program. That's an initiative was, it was designed to equip core members with practical vocational and entrepreneur skills that could help them become self-reliant and create employment opportunities rather than relying solely on government or private sector for jobs. The introduction of Said represented an important step towards addressing graduate unemployment. It acknowledged that the future of young Nigerian would increasingly depend, on entrepreneurship, innovation, and practical skill. Despite this progress, many observers believe that the program has not yet reached its full potential. Oh, yes, challenges such as limited resources, uneven implementation, inadequate access to funding, and varying level of participation have reduced its overall impact. As a result, many graduates continue to leave the NYC without clear pathways to sustainable employment or successful business development. Graduate unemployment remains a national challenge that extends beyond the NYC itself. Nevertheless, because the scheme serves as a final national institution, many graduates encounter before entering the labor market. They encounter this scheme, this institution, before entering the labor market. It occupies a unique position in preparing young Nigerians for productive careers. If this transition from graduation to employment, it can significantly improve. The NYC can play an even greater role in fulfilling its founding purpose if this can transition from graduation to employment, right? You know, it can significantly improve, and the NYC can play an even greater role in fulfilling its founding purpose. This is why reform have become necessary, not to replace the ideals of the NYC, but to strengthen them. More than 50 years after the establishment of the National Youth Service Corps, Nigeria stands at another defining moment in history of the scheme. On 29 June 2026, during a meeting of the Federal Executive Council (FEC) in Abuja, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved a comprehensive review of the NYSC. The objective of the reform was to modernize the scheme and better align it with the realities and aspirations of today's Nigeria. Whether this reform achieve their intended goals will depend not only on their design, but also on effective implementation, sustained investment, and broad participation from government, the private sector, development partners, and citizens. Among the proposed changes, one aspect one aspect that particularly captured public attention was the introduction of a redesigned Adire-inspired NYC uniform. Beyond aesthetics, right? Such a redesign has the potential to celebrate Nigerian creativity, culture, and identity, oh yes, while giving the scheme a renewed image that reflects national pride. The public response actually demonstrated how deeply, right, Nigerians care about the future of the NYC. Across social media platforms, many citizens used artificial intelligence and digital design tools to imagine new Adire inspired uniform and fresh concept for the scheme. While these designs were actually unofficial, they actually reflected something important. Nigerians are eager to contribute ideas when they believe meaningful reform is possible. However, beyond the visual identity of the scheme, the most significant aspect of the reform is its emphasis on preparing graduates for the future. One of the proposals that stands out is the career stream initiative. Yes, that particular proposal really stands out. It's, you know, if effectively implemented, it has the potential to become one of the most transformative reforms in the history of the NYC. For decades, many graduates have completed national service without a clear pathway into employment or entrepreneurship. The career stream seeks to bridge the gap, that gap by connecting core members more directly with industries, professions, and career opportunities that align with their education, interests, and skills. This shift represents an important change in thinking. The NYC should not only deploy graduates for 1 year of national service. It should also help prepare them for productive and meaningful life after service. A graduate who leaves the scheme with relevant work experience, but practical skills, professional network, and access to career opportunities better equipped to contribute to national development than one who lives without direction. Nevertheless, reforms alone do not guarantee results. History has shown that many well-designed policies have failed because of weak implementation, inadequate funding, or lack of sustained commitment. The success of the 2026 reforms will therefore depend on more than government approval. It will require transparency, accountability, effective coordination, and continuous evaluation to ensure that the intended benefits reach every core members. This is where the responsibility extends beyond government. Every Nigerian has a stake in the extent. Every Nigerian has a stake, right, in the future of the NYSC. Former core members, employers, educational institutions, state government, civil society organization, development partners, community leaders, and the private sectors all have important roles to play in ensuring that this reform becomes meaningful reality than unfulfilled promises. The future of the NYSC cannot be built by policy documents alone. It must be built through collective action. If these reforms are successfully implemented, the NYSC can become more than a program for national service. It can become one of Nigeria's most effective institutions for youth empowerment, leadership development, entrepreneurship, and nation building. The opportunity before Nigeria is historic. The challenge now is to ensure that this opportunity is not wasted, right? The next question is no longer whether reform is necessary. The real question is, how can we collectively build an NYSC that fulfill its founding vision while preparing Nigerian graduates for the future?
Collaborations with other ministries, MDAs. A memo is being brought forth to the Federal Executive Council, and I'm happy to tell you that it has been approved for the reform of National Youth Service Corps. For over half decade, 1973, that this scheme has been funded, created by the country for national unity and after the Civil War. 53 years later, part of the reform of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the reforms have led to a lot of ways which have incorporated the Ministry of Youth and even the youth itself to put together an half of a century review of the challenges the NYSCs are facing. And these have addressed the issues of Ministry of Youth Development, Ministry of Education, and also the Office of the Special Advisor to the President to work together for the development of the reform framework. The goals are simple and straightforward. We want to build an NYSC out of just mobilization of program. We are looking and working for the strong partnership for skill development, job creations, possibility, and national growth. The key reforms are stated clearly to put a call of data in digital way and a self-development core members for security and also attentions in special issues. These are prepared to even the structures of the reform of NYSC. This memo continues by putting hope and also preparing a better state of camps in all states of the Federation, making the state government, the subnational, a clear standard orientation camp for all young people. And also the passing out parade should be redesigned from just a parade to a ceremony, a graduation ceremony properly. And also it's been approved that professionalism of each corps member's identity of a scheme to be introduced. And we have also worked in line to reform the act that strongs the NYSC. In collaboration with these three ministries and all MDAs, we are happy to inform you that finally NYSC reform has come to stand. Thank you.
The 2026 reforms have opened a new chapter in the history of National Youth Service Corps. However, reforms alone will not transform the scheme. Their success will depend on effective implementation, sustained collaboration, and a shared commitment to national development. The NYSC has potential to become one of the most influential youth development institutions in Africa. Oh yes, to achieve this, right, every stakeholder must move beyond words, right, and contribute to a common vision. One of the greatest expectations of Nigerian graduates is to secure meaningful employment or establish successful businesses after completing national service. The proposed career stream should therefore become a direct bridge between graduation and productive careers. Core members should be matched with organizations that align with their academic qualifications, professional interest, and career goals. During the service year, they should gain practical experience, build professional networks, and receive mentorship that prepares them for life after service. The ultimate goal should not simply be to complete a one-year service assignment, but to launch graduates into productive careers that contribute to national development. The introduction of SAID, right, the Skill Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Development SAID program, was an important step towards addressing graduate unemployment. However, the program should evolve beyond short training sessions. Every core members should leave the NYSC with practical, marketable skills that generate income. This requires stronger training, experienced instructors, modern equipment, business incubation programs, mentorship, and improved access to startup financing. Training alone is not enough. Young entrepreneurs also need access to capital, markets, technology, and ongoing support if their businesses are to survive and grow. No government can create enough jobs for every graduate. For this reason, the private sector should become one of the strongest partners of the NYSC. Technology companies, manufacturers, banks, agricultural enterprises, construction firms, healthcare organizations, media companies, and other industries should collaborate with the scheme by offering internships, graduate training programs, industrial placement, apprenticeship, innovation competitions, and employment opportunities. Such partnership would make the service year a practical transition from education to the workplace. Since 1973, millions of Nigerians have passed through the NYSC. Today, former core members occupy leadership positions in government, businesses, education, healthcare, technology, agriculture, the armed forces, the creative industry, and civil society. This vast network, right, represents one of the greatest untapped resources available to the scheme. A stronger national NYC alumni network should be established to connect uh, experienced professionals with serving core members through mentorship, career, guidance, internship, scholarships, business support, and community development initiative. The spirit of national service should not end with the passing out parade. Former core members remain ambassadors of the value they embraced during their service year. Community development service has always been one of the defining features of the NYSC. Future reforms should encourage projects that create long-term benefits for communities. Instead of focusing only on short-term interventions, core members should be supported to develop sustainable projects in education, agriculture, healthcare, environmental protection, digital literacy, renewable energy, and youth empowerment. Communities should also be encouraged to maintain successful projects after core members complete their service. Perhaps the greatest transformation the NYC can achieve is not physical, but mental. Yes, the scheme should cultivate the understanding that service to humanity is a lifelong responsibility. National service should not end after 12 months. Rather, it should become a mindset that guides citizens throughout their lives. When former core members, continue mentoring young people, supporting communities, creating opportunities, solving problems, and contributing to national development, the ideals of the NYC remain alive long after the uniform has been folded away. That is a true measure of success. A stronger NYC is not simply one that deploys graduates. It is one that inspires generations of Nigerians to live, you know, lives of service, leadership, productivity, and patriotism. The reform currently underway provides an opportunity to move closer to that vision. The responsibility now belongs to all of us. The future of the National Youth Service Corps cannot be secured by the federal government alone. The responsibility of building a stronger NYC belongs to every stakeholder who believes in Nigeria's future. The scheme was established to promote national unity and contribute to national development. Achieving these objectives requires collective responsibility. Government may provide leadership and policy direction, but implementation becomes stronger when every sector of society plays its part. The federal government remains the custodian of the NYC and must continue to provide strategic leadership, adequate funding, and effective oversight. Beyond introducing reforms, government should ensure that policies are implemented consistently, transparently, and efficiently. Monitoring and evaluation should become continuous process, right? So that programs are improved based on measurable results rather than assumption. The goal should not simply be to operate the NYC, but to transform it into a world-class youth development institution. State governments are, the closest partner to core members during their year of service. They should create environments where core members can contribute meaningfully to education, healthcare, agriculture, technology, environmental sustainability, rural development, and public service. Outstanding community development service projects should be identified, supported, and sustained long after the core members have completed their service. This will ensure that communities continue to benefit from projects that address local needs. State can also be established, state can also establish employment and entrepreneurship programs that give exceptional core members opportunity to remain and contribute to development of their host state. Corporate organizations should see the NYC as an investment in Nigeria future workforce. Every year, thousands of talented graduates enter the scheme with fresh ideas, energy, and the desire to contribute. The private sector has the capacity to transform these young graduates into highly productive professionals. Company um, can contribute by providing internships, industrial attachments, graduate training program, innovation competitions, scholarships, mentorship opportunity, entrepreneurship funding, research partnership, and direct employment pathways. Supporting the NYC is not merely corporate social responsibility, it is an investment in the future of competitiveness of Nigeria's economy. Civil society organizations have always played an important role in national development. NGOs can partner with the NYC to expand programs in education, healthcare, civic education, peace building, environmental conservation, gender inclusion, youth empowerment, community development, and humanitarian service. Such partnerships will expose core members to practical solutions to addressing real social challenges while strengthening their leadership capacity and commitment to service. International organizations and development partners possess valuable experience, also technical expertise and resources that can strengthen the NYC through giant technical assistance, digital skill training, leadership development, innovation hubs, initiatives, um, agricultural programs, entrepreneurship support, and you know exchange opportunities. They can help prepare Nigerians graduates. International organizations and development partners possess valuable experience, technical expertise, and resources that can strengthen the NYSC through grants, technical assistance, digital trainings, skill training, leadership development, innovation hubs, climate initiatives, agricultural programs, entrepreneurship support, and exchange opportunities. They can help prepare Nigerian graduates for an increasingly competitive global economy. Partnerships should be built on mutual respect and aligned with Nigeria's national development, the priorities, while drawing an international best practices. You see, the role of NYC alumni is very important. Perhaps no group understands the value of the NYC better than those who have, worn the uniform. Since 1973, millions of Nigerians have completed national service. Today, many are accomplished professionals, entrepreneurs, public servants, academic, military officers, healthcare workers, judges, business leaders, innovators, and community leaders. Their responsibility did not end on the day they received their certificate of national service. Former core members should return to support the institution that helped shape their journey. They can mentor serving core members, sponsor community projects, provide internships, create employment opportunities, and establish scholarships, invest in entrepreneurship programs, and contribute their expertise to strengthening the scheme. The NYC alumni network should become one of the strongest pillars supporting the future of the institution. Ultimately, nation building belongs to every citizen, whether rich or poor, young or old, public servant or entrepreneur, teacher or artisan. Every Nigerian has something valuable to contribute. When we support our young people, you know, strengthening our institution, encourage innovation, promote integrity, and place national interests above personal interests, we contribute to building the Nigeria we all desire. The future of the NYC is not determined by government alone, like I said. It is determined by the willingness of Nigerians to work together. Only through collective responsibility can the NYC fully achieve its founding vision of national unity, youth development, and service to humanity. When every sector of society embraces this responsibility, the National Youth Service Corps will become more than a one-year program. It will become a lifelong movement for national transformation. Its journey has not been without challenges. The scheme has faced several criticism, changing national reality, insecurity, and the growing challenge of graduate unemployment. Yet, these challenges do not erase the vision upon which NYSC was founded. Rather, they remind us that every great institution must continue to evolve in order to remain relevant. The recent reforms present Nigeria with a historic opportunity. If implemented effectively, they can reposition the nation or reposition NYSC as more than a compulsory one-year program. They can transform it into a platform that prepares graduates for productive careers, responsible leadership, entrepreneurship, innovation, and lifelong service to the nation. However, policy alone cannot build a nation. Buildings do not build country. Budgets do not build countries. Law alone do not build countries. People build countries. And the kind of country people build depends on the mindset they carry. That is why this documentary is not simply about the National Youth Service Corps. It's about renewing minds, It is about reminding every citizen that patriotism is not measured only by words, but by service. It is about understanding that nation building is not the responsibility of government alone. It belongs to every Nigerian, to every former corps members, to every teacher, to every entrepreneur, to every public servant, to every community leader, to every young Nigerian who dreams of a better future. The greatest lesson the NYSC can teach us is that service to humanity is lifelong. The khaki or adire uniform may eventually be folded away. The certificate of national service may eventually be framed on a wall. The passing out parade may eventually become a memory. But our responsibility to Nigeria should never come to an end. Imagine a nation where every former corps members continue mentoring young people. Imagine a nation where businesses deliberately create opportunity for graduates. Imagine a nation where communities embrace corps members as partners in development. Imagine a nation where governments, the private sector, civil society, and citizens work together with one purpose. That is the Nigeria we can build. The future of the National Youth Service Corps will not be determined by reforms alone. It will be determined by what each of us chooses to do after reading this story. The present generation has the responsibility. The future will judge what we do with it. So let us renew our minds. Let us strengthen, our institutions. Let us invest in our youth. Let us restore the dignity of service. Let us build a Nigeria where every graduate has the opportunity to succeed. every community benefits from the talent of its young people, and every citizen understand that nation building is a lifelong responsibility. The National Youth Service Corps still has one of the greatest potential of any youth institution in Nigeria. The potential is still unfolding. The responsibility to unlock it belongs to all of us. Service to humanity is lifelong. Together, let us build the Nigeria we all desire.